Hey fellow beaders, it's JP and it's Wild Wednesday, so I've got another tutorial for you, and this one's going to be a quick one. I came up with this design fairly quickly and it beads up really quick. So for a quick midday or midweek project, you're going to like this. What you're going to need, and the wild bead that I'm using are the two-hole cabs. And so here they are. So they're basically a round bead or a half round bead essentially. So they have one side is flat and the other side is domed, and there's two holes. So if you guys can see that, and they're really cute. I don't know. Kind of makes me think of Pac-Man. I don't know. I don't know if you guys know what I'm referring to. It was a video game from the 80s. But anyway, though I guess Pac-Man was round though all the way through and then had a little mouth, but whatever. My imagination. Anyway, so I got these from Art Beads, and they're a checkmate bead. They're 7 millimeters, and it's called a cabochon. I'm calling them cabs for short. I think that's what everybody else references them as cabs, but they are a 7 millimeter bead. And of course, it's a two-hole bead, and that's what makes it a wild bead. They're fairly new. And here's the design that I did. It's a pair of earrings. So I'm sticking with my earring trend for the couple of weeks now. So I did, last Sunday was a pair of earrings. And this Wednesday I'm doing a pair of earrings. But I think I'll probably go back to bracelets after this. Anyway, but I love a pair of dangly earrings. And what you're going to need are 4 of your, or 8 of your cab beads, 4 per earring. And so you'll get plenty if you order a tube of these. This is a 2.5-inch tube that it comes in. You'll get plenty of beads. I actually wanted to do a bracelet, but I didn't have enough cab beads. And so I switched to earrings. That was part of the motivation. When I ordered a lot of these beads to do these Wild Wednesday tutorials, I only ordered a small amount. Not sure, I didn't have a design already made up in my head because I hadn't even worked with the beads before. So anyway, I didn't have enough to make a bracelet with these, but you can. So if you end up ordering these, you can kind of put them together like so, and you'll need probably one more set of components and you'll make up a nice bracelet too. So it should be really easy to do, to just connect them together. Anyway, so continue on the material. So you'll need your 8 cab beads, which I put them away. You'll need about 40 bicones. These are 4 millimeter. I'm using jet. I also used 4 millimeter fire polish, and so you'll need about 8 of those. Now you can interchange these. So you can, if you don't have bicones, you can use fire polish for the whole thing, or you can use bicones for the whole thing. So here in the earring, I've got fire polish over here, just in these 4 ends. You can switch those for bicones. You can do different colors in there if you like. So I like sort of having that pop of silver there and sort of break up the black. And that's the only reason I did it that way. But again, that's completely interchangeable. The other thing is the cab beads. Now, if you guys don't have them, which I think, it's likely that a lot of people don't have these, but you have a round bead, say an 8 millimeter or maybe even a 6 millimeter round, you should be able to do these earrings. And you're just going to go through, instead of going through, the right hole and the left hole, you'll be just going through the same hole. That's the only difference here. So I think you might actually still be able to pull this off. I would say give it a try. I haven't tried it, so I don't know for sure, but I would say 99% sure that you can. And do it without having to have cap beads. And you'll still end up with a nice pair of lacy earrings or a bracelet. Anyway, in addition, last thing you'll need is a couple of jump rings and some ear wires. And of course, needle and thread. So I used 4-pound fireline, 4, 6-pound, even 8 might be okay. We go through the beads a few times to reinforce. So usually when you're using 8-pound, you don't need to reinforce as much. So just decide based on that. Anyway, I hope you guys like this tutorial, and I will see you in the next one, or well, let's get started first. So to begin our design here, our beadwork, what you're going to do is take your needle and go through the right hole of your cab. Or you can go through the left. You just want to make sure that you're going through the same hole on all 4 of the beads. And what you're going to do is you're going to make a knot. So, bring the beads down towards the end of the thread. Leave a little bit of a tail. So I'm trying to get here to the end. And trying to make sure I stay in camera range. So just make a knot and your basic square overhead knot. Nothing too fancy. And there you have it. So that's what you should have so far. And then we're going to go through the beads again to reinforce them and also to pull the knot into one of the cap beads. So I'm just going to go through a few more of these, one more. And you can see I'm back where my tail is here. So, and there's enough, you can go ahead and weave the tail in a little later. But now what you want to do is you want to turn into the other hole. So I'm just going to go into this second hole of the bead. And then we're just going to add our bicones. So just go into the other hole of this bead here. And so we're adding the bicone. So there's the front. And we're going to do that all the way around. So you'll be adding 4 bicones. So here's the next one. And I'm just going to work in the upward direction, just a little bit easier for me. It helps me stay in camera range too when I do it this way. And I've got one more to add. So I'm going to go ahead and add that and then exit out of the bicone. So go through the cab and the bicone. And give it a little tug, and this is what you should have so far. Now for the next step, we're going to turn to our fire polish. And so what you're going to do is pick up 2 11-0s, the fire polish, and then 2 more 11-0s. And you're going to go into the next bicone. So you're skipping over the cab beads. And the beads are going to sit around the cab, in fact. So, and we're going to repeat this. So 2 11-0s, our 4mm fire polish, and 2 more of the 11s. And go into the next bicone. And there you go. We're going to continue. 2 11-0s, fire polish, 2 11-0s, and next bead. Make sure you're giving everything a good tug because you don't want any slack in your thread. And the last time, 2 11-0s, fire polish, 2 11-0s, and we're going to go into the cab, into the bicone, and then up through the 11-0s and exit out of this fire polish. Give it a tug, and there's your beads. So for the next step, we're going to pick up an 11-0, a bicone, then 3 11-0s, a bicone, and 1 more 11-0. And so this is what you should have. And you're going to go into the next fire polish here in the group. And that's what you're going to get. And we're going to repeat this 3 more times. So 11-0, bicone, 3 11-0s, bicone, and an 11-0. And we're going into this next fire polish. And again, 11-0, bicone, 3 11-0s, bicone, 11-0. So just so you see what we got. And last time, 11-0, bicone, 3 11-0s, our bicone, and 11-0. Go into the last bicone, or sorry, last fire polish here, and then we're gonna reinforce these beads. So go ahead and go through the 11-0, the bicone, and the next 11-0. We're gonna skip the middle 11-0 here in this group of 3, and we're gonna continue through the next set of beads. So we're gonna go ahead and go through the third 11-0, a bicone, and then the fire polish. And if you want to keep going, go through the next set of 11-0, bicone, 11-0. So this allows us to reinforce, but it also creates the little points that we need in the corners. And so we're going to skip this one again, and we're not adding any beads, we're just skipping. So we're going to skip this middle one, and we'll continue through the beads here. And let's see. So here are the beads that I've gone through. I've gone through the 11-0 bicone, 11-0 fire polish, 11-0 bicone, 11-0. And the bead pops up when you do that. So it gives you a little bit of a point. And again, we'll skip this middle one, and we'll just go through as many beads as you can. So I'm basically able to go through all the beads until I need to skip the middle bead here. And if your bead doesn't pop up into place, it's because you want to turn it up and then give it a tug. And there it goes. Okay, last time. So same set of beads. And this one doesn't want to pop up, so I'm just going to pull it up. And then tug the thread. There you go. So, and that's it, guys. That's like the dangly portion of our earring. Now we're just going to make the top portion, and this should be relatively easy to do. You want to exit out of this point bead here now. So I'm just going to go through it, and then I'm going to pick up 11-0, or sorry, not 11-0, that's a bicone, then an 11-0, bicone, 11-0, bicone, 11-0, and bicone. So I'm going to have 4 bicones and 3 11-0s, and I'm just going to go back around through this same 11-0 bead. Now what we're going to do is just go through all the beads again to reinforce them. So I just went through the bicone, 11-0 bicone. Now I'm going to go through 3 more. And now I'm back where I started. Give it a good tug, and we're going to go through this one more time. So now you just want to go through the bicone, and we're going to pick up 3 11-0 beads, and we're going to go into the next bicone. So we're going to skip this 11-0 here that's between the bicones. Just like that, and we repeat this 2 more times. So pick up 3 of the 11-0s and skip the 11-0 between the bicones and go into this next bicone. And last time, skip the 11-0 and go into the bicone. So I've gone through this bead here several times, which is why it's a little bit tight, and that's pretty much expected at this point. But we're basically done. So like I said, this was going to be really quick and easy, and you got a nice beautiful pair of lacy dangly chandelier earrings. Now I'm going to go ahead and tie some half-hitch knots. So I'm actually going to go down into this piece. So I'm going to go into this next 11-0 here and tie a half hitch between the bicone and the 11-0. So wrap your thread around. Basically, you're making a loop around the thread between the two and then going through the loop. And that's your knot. And we can do this again. So I usually like to do 2 or 3 knots. It makes sure that the knots are secure. So I give everything a good tug. Now I'm going to do it again here. So this time the knot's going to go between the 11-0 and the fire polish. And last time. And then you just want to weave. So that was 3 knots. So now I'm just going to do a little weaving. So I'm going to go through the bicone and the 11-0s, bicones, and I'll exit out of this fire polish here. And I think I can cut my thread at this point. So I've moved away from the knot and everything is going to be hidden. Oh, and I was looking for my scissors and I don't have them, so I'm going to use my wire cutters. It works, so either way. And I'm going to go ahead and cut this. You can weave this in further if you want, but I've already gone through the beads a second time after I made the knot. So the knot's away from the ends of the thread. Okay, so now all you have to do is add on a jump ring and your ear wire. So to do that, I've got an open jump ring. So I'm going to feed it through, and I'm actually using the space between the 11-0s here and feed it through. You can always go into the bigger piece. I think I like the way it looks when it's gone through there. So add in your ear wire, and we're just going to close the jump ring. Oop, dropped it, and my ear wire popped out. Of course, because I was reaching for my other tool, and there it is. Okay, we are done. So as I said, it was going to be quick, and we got ourselves a nice lacy pair of earrings. I love dangly chandelier earrings, so I always love to make these. So anyway, I hope you guys like this. This is kind of a good quick tutorial to do in the middle of the week, and I will see you on Sunday for our Stash Sunday. Bye.